folks. It's Zach Elliott at Feel Free to Argue. How you all doing? Don't answer, that's weird. Well, a couple of things on my mind. First of all, welcome to all the new subscribers I got. I think thanks to Jack Luck doing a response video. I think a bunch of people got interested in my video that might not otherwise have, and quite a few of you signed up, and I appreciated it. I also appreciate the discussion on that vid. I thought it was a good, deep discussion. And, you know, a la my name, I actually appreciate that. But what I want to talk about this morning is just kind of more of a personal thing. Though I don't know, I'm sure people will find ways to relate to it. I was driving home from dropping the kids off at school this morning, and I saw something which, I mean, probably wouldn't mean anything to most people. I'm sure it wouldn't. You know, it was just this window with a bunch of pop cans stacked right next to it. But for me, it triggered a memory of somebody that I knew a long time ago. Someone named JoAnne. She's someone I got to know when I was working at Store 24, which is a convenience store chain up in the Northeast. And she was a really cool person. My wife at the time actually, you know, worked for her. And she's really an amazing person. Pretty much always had been. I mean, aside from being, you know, an unbelievably beautiful person, you know, she was a marathon runner. When she had been in her 20s, she had effectively been vice president of the company and had just kind of retreated from that because she wanted to spend more time doing her art, which was really amazing. And I'll show you a copy of the one piece of hers that I have, or at least a print of it. And the harsh part about it is that while I knew her, she got cancer, and it was one of the nasty kinds that you don't get better from. And that was my first real experience with having somebody who I felt close to and I identified with die, and to be with them through that process. And I have some amazing memories associated with that time. And I think it was interesting because I learned so much about human nature. I remember like the outpouring of feeling when, you know, people first found out about her illness. And how it all kind of trailed away. And then there were a few people that came back at the end, but it was nothing approaching, you know, that outpouring of feeling that occurred right at the very beginning. And I realized that no matter how strongly you think you have an association with people, that it's true, you know, until you're in trouble, you really don't know who your friends are. Because there were people that she thought were, you know, best friends for life. People she felt very strongly about that were always going to be there for her, and they just turned out not to be. And then there were other people like my wife and I, you know, who ended up developing, you know, much deeper, stronger relationships, you know, with her during that time period. But in terms of today, and in seeing those cans, it was a total sucker punch. My tears were, you know, tears were welling in my eyes and everything, you know, because I realized I hadn't thought about her in a while. And that was the worst part of it. And I mean, I know, people are going to say, oh, well, you got to expect that to happen. But you know what? I never really did. I never thought that would happen. I mean, I really believed it when I was like thinking to myself that, never a day was going to go by where I wasn't going to think of her. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine that happening. Well, I don't have to imagine it anymore. It happened. And I know. It doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the feeling, blah, 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 blah. It's still, it was stunning. Because I was sure and I was wrong. And even though I hadn't thought of her, maybe it was sort of like, I guess I had built up, by not thinking of her, I had built up this reservoir of missing her, which really surprised me. Because when I thought about her, there was just this raw, really strong sense of loss. In the sense that I miss having her to talk to. I miss all the art she never made. Because I loved her art. And I guess that's all I have to say this morning. I'm going to leave off showing you this, which is a print that I have of the last piece of art that JoAnne produced, which is, I think, pretty prophetic if you look at it. Shortly after she finished this piece, she got the stroke, which initially paralyzed and always impaired her dominant side, the side that she used primarily to create her artwork, and she just never felt comfortable working on it with an impaired ability. So basically, she lost the ability to do the thing that gave her the most satisfaction. One of those cruel ironies that for the end of her life. But anyway, it's an amazing piece. I'm glad I have a print of it. It's certainly something to remember her brilliance with. And I guess that's all I have for you this week. This has been Zach Elliott, and you can, of course, always feel free to argue.